Hey, this is Josh with Grimco Tech Support. In this video, we're going to take a look at some basic print job setup, some nesting, and some other things like that in Onyx. So we'll go ahead and open up a job. So we've got our main window here, the Thrive RIP Queue window, or if you have Poster Shop or whatever. They're all going to look basically the same. Get your printers, the jobs that are ready to print, and any jobs that are completed or canceled will show up down here in the buffered jobs down below. So we'll go ahead and hit open, and we'll navigate to where we have some image files. And I'm going to use shift click or control click to select a few different random images here. And it is set to open in Job Editor. And by the way, we're going to open it up with the default quick set. If I haven't already told you, quick sets are basically presets. So I've got a print and cut, a rotate 90. Those are just automation. So it'll automatically rotate the job 90 degrees, or it'll automatically set up the job for print and cut registration marks. So we'll just open it up like normal with the default settings, and we'll hit open. So that'll bring up Job Editor. And because I had multiple images selected, it's going to bring those images, so all 4 or 5 of them, one at a time into Job Editor. So you can see them kind of stacking up here. So we'll choose for this first one here, we'll choose the print mode. We'll just leave it on this the default setting here, which is what was set up in the quick set for 8-pass, no cutter selection. We'll leave the size at 100% scale. Actually, I'm going to shrink this one down just a little bit. No, we'll leave it the way it is. But it's going to be too large for our 54-inch media, so we'll see what that looks like. We're not going to do any like tiling or color correction or anything like that in this file, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit the submit button up here and send this first one over. Okay, here's our second file. Same deal. I want to make sure that if I want to print these together in a nest, that everything's the same. So same material, same print mode. Whether or not the cutter is selected, they both need to be the same. So, and then we'll take a look at our preview and size. So this is another pretty big file. I'm going to go ahead and just shrink this one down a little bit. I'm going to set it up at like 50% scale. Yeah, so that's a little bit smaller there. And then we'll go ahead and submit that. Another image here, same deal. We want to make sure to have the same print mode, same contour cutter selection, and this one's 15 by 10, so not very big. We'll go ahead and leave that. And our last one here, same deal, 8-pass, high quality. This is a really big file, 83 inches, so we'll cut this one in half as well, just for our demonstration. Actually, I'm going to make it even a little smaller than that, 25% scale. And we'll submit that. So now we have our 3 jobs. And because I have a placement strategy over here of group jobs together, it's automatically nesting them. So as these files rip out, they're nesting together. So if you take a look at our nest so far, we've got 3 images, and there's a little gray bar between the 2 images here. That's a setting in our placement strategy. So if we go into the little gear next to the placement strategy, we've got our things centered. And if we go to options here, print rows all at a time, or print all rows at a time. So that will keep them from breaking up like this. So this is a break in the print. So it's treating them as 2 separate jobs. So if you hit print now, they're both going to go, but on an Epson printer, it's going to create a little pause in between these 2 jobs. If this were, say, like a flatbed printer, it would actually send these 2 jobs as separate jobs to the printer's IPS. So we'll make sure we choose print all rows at a time. And you can set your spacing between jobs if you need to here. We'll leave it where it is. And now we've got our 3 jobs nested together without that break. So it's kind of centering it the best way it sees fit. So there are some other strategies I can choose. I can choose conserve media. And it also has that break set up in it. So I go into my placement strategy for conserve media. And it looks like it's left justified too. I like, at least on most roll-to-roll printers, I like to have things centered, but that's really just a preference. And then with this conserve media, because this has some like kind of extra features for conserving media, I can choose best fit and allow rotate. So that'll be kind of a tight nest where it kind of stacks things around to fit a little bit tighter and save media. Not always the most functional when you're trying to trim these out by hand, but at least it will save you some material. So then we're going to choose that same option here, print all rows at a time. And then we can hit OK, and this should re-nest based off of the changes that I made. And so you can see here, that fourth image that was busy, or actually the status said wait for media size because it was rotated and it was too wide for the media. Now it's automatically rotating out to fit on this 54-inch page. So like if I were to switch back to group jobs together, that goes away because it's not rotated. So if I'm using this placement strategy, it's not going to auto-rotate things. It kind of just puts them the way they are. So if I wanted this to print, I would actually have to come in here. I can take it back into Job Editor, or I can go into the mini Job Editor, Job Properties here, and just rotate it manually to fit on there. Okay, oh, it's still rotating, still ripping. All right, there we go. So that's, it fits, but it's kind of an odd nesting, so this is where I would probably want to kind of play around with my nesting strategies, maybe go to conserve media and see, okay, yeah, that looks like it would be better. Or I could, if I really wanted to fight with it, I could start rotating these other jobs manually as well, and then eventually we would end up with something that looks something like this. So that's kind of Onyx's auto nesting options. That's really the best method, although sometimes it's a little frustrating when you see spots that you go, well, why is it putting it there? In that case, if you really want to be able to have a little more control and move things around, rotate them, and manually position them, you can use layout tool for that. So we're not going to talk about that in this video, but that's another function of Onyx where you can kind of be a little bit more hands-on with how the actual images are nested out on the page. Cool, so these jobs are ready to go. All I need to do is hit print now, and that's going to send it off to the printer.